Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. I'm not going to ramble on because I did that in my first video, so we're just going to jump straight into today's video. So this is going to be all of the physical books on my TBR, and there's a lot of piles sitting around me, so let's just get started. I am not going to give any synopsis on them because I suck at that, as I explained in the first video. But anyways, let's get started because there are a lot of books on my physical TBR. What I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I feel like I am one of the last people on earth to read this series, but I really want to read it before the show comes out, so yeah, I really need to read this. Then I have Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. When I read the synopsis on the back of this, it was so good and it looked so interesting, so I picked it up and have not read it ever since I picked it up, but I am nonetheless excited to read this. I am just really not in my like thriller era, mystery, whatever you want to call it, era right now, and it's just not something I'm in the mood to read, but hopefully we'll get to it this year. Then I have Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is the last book in the Natural series. I really enjoyed that series, and I need to finish it and read this. So this is a big book, and then like the end or whatever is a novella, and I have really enjoyed this series so far, so I need to wrap it up. And then I have the entire Inheritance Game series. When I tell you I've had this for a year, I'm not lying. So we have the Inheritance Games, by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, by the way, the Hawthorne Legacy, and the Final Gambit. I really need to read this. I might get to it soon because I heard that they're really easy and quick reads, and that is kind of what I need when I'm not filming vlogs, because to reach my end of the year goal, I have to read at least 4 books a month, so that is my goal. So I really need to read this series, and hopefully I get to it this year. Okay, moving on, I have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. Again, I've had this book for the longest, and I've heard that it's really good. Again, I think I'm just scared because I've heard a lot of hype, and not only that, I'm scared because it's fantasy and I feel like I'm not gonna understand. But yeah, I really need to get to this soon. Then I have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I've heard so many good things about this. Again, it's just fantasy that I'm really scared about getting into, but this is going to be my year of fantasy reading, so maybe this will be one of the options. Then I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I'm scared to read this because there are so many mixed reviews on this. Some people hate it, some people love it, and that scares me when I hear people don't like it. Especially, I know that I should not like think that way and like have other people's opinions affect what I read, but some of my favorite booktubers have read this and they don't like it, and I will read anything they recommend, and it scares me that they didn't like this. So yeah. Then I have Heart of the Raven Prince by Tassonja Odette. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This is part of the Entangled with Fae series, and this is a Cinderella retelling, and I really want to read this. Sarah loves the Entangled with Fae series. This is not like the first one, but you don't have to read them in order. They're all different retellings, but this one was a Cinderella retelling, and this is the first one that Sarah read, so that's why I picked it up. But there are a few more. I'm not exactly sure what, but I do want to get to this at some point. And then I have Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, and I feel like I'm the last person on earth to read this series or even read this book. I started reading it, I didn't get that far into it. I got to chapter 5 and I didn't put it down as a DNF, and I didn't put it down because I didn't like it. I put it down because I wasn't in the mood to read at the time. So this day that I started this or whatever, I tried like 10 books and I just wasn't in the mood. So nothing to do with the book. I actually thought it was very interesting and I wanted to keep reading, I just was not in the mood. Then I have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Obviously, everybody has heard of this. I want to get into this. My boyfriend actually picked this out, so I do plan on doing my boyfriend picked this out when we went to the store, and I do plan on doing a boyfriend chooses my reads at some point this year. Not sure when, so I'm assuming if I have not read it by then, this will be in the video because he's gonna want me to read this. But yeah, anyway, I do want to read this. Then I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is one of Sarah's favorite duologies, and I want to read it. I want to know what the hype is about, and I want to read it before I watch the show. Then I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I really want to get into this series. There's a couple other books, I think. Yeah, that's really all. I really need to get into my fantasy series. I have a lot. Is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Sarah has read this little series or whatever, and she says that she like really enjoys it, so I really want to give it a try. If this is not read by the time my boyfriend picks my reads, I think I'm going to do that in a couple months, then this will probably also be in it, and I'm scared because it's thick, but whatever he picks, I have to read. So yeah, this might be in that at some point. I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I really want to get into this really soon, and I wanted to put it in to my upcoming reading vlog this month, but I don't think I'm going to because I tried to pick I try to pick one thicker book and one less thick of a book because I didn't want two really big books and have to read them in the amount of time that I have. So this will be read at some point, but super duper excited, and I need to read this really bad. Then I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Again, really needs to be read at some point. I have not had this very long. I just got it for Christmas, but I really want to read it. I've been looking everywhere for this book. And then I have The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Again, Sarah has read this series, and I don't know if she absolutely loved it, but she did recommend it, so I do want to read this, and I'm really excited to read this and see what it's about. Then I have the first two books in the Throne of Glass series. I cannot read these at all. I cannot read any of the series. I'm not really even sure why I bought them, but they're fun to have because I have to read the entire ACOTAR series, and I have not even started. So I'm going to listen to Destiny, and I'm going to read the entire ACOTAR series. Then I'll read Throne of Glass. Then I'll read the other series by Sarah J. Maas, but these are not going to be read anytime soon until ACOTAR is done. But I do have The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas and Throne of Glass, so these will be read at some point, just not anytime soon. Then on the same topic, I have the first two books in the ACOTAR series. We have A Court of Thorns and Roses, and we have A Court of Mist and Fury. Again, I'm really nervous that these are not going to live up to the hype, so that's why I have not read them yet. And I'm also scared that I'm not going to understand fantasy, and this book kind of intimidates me. But this is going to be the year that I read ACOTAR. Please hold me accountable to that. This is actually on my 2024 reads. My 24 reads to read in 2024, so please hold me accountable to reading this series. Then I have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I don't know how this entire series works. I know that there's a million intertwined, but I don't know how it works, but we're just gonna start with this one. Then I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I'm really excited to read this, and it is a shorter one, like I said in my last video, so we really need to get into this. I have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yoros, and I really need to read this. This is definitely a must for this year, and hopefully I can understand what is going on with it. So the next book I have is A Little Life. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this author's name because I am not trying to butcher it. I really want to read this, but I'm scared because I heard that it's very sad. Please look up the trigger warnings before reading any of these books that I am showing you guys. If you find something you want to that sparks your interest, please look up trigger warnings for any book. And this is really thick, so that's also intimidating. Then I have The Deal by Ella Kennedy. I've had this on my TBR for so long. And we have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The only Taylor Jenkins Reid book I have read is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I absolutely love that book. I actually didn't read it, I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook is definitely worth it. I loved the audiobook, so I definitely recommend listening to the audiobook of that. But I'm so glad they came out with a paperback in this, because I was not trying to get the hardback because I just don't like hardbacks. But we need to get to this very soon. Then I also have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've also read this one for quite some time, but I've heard they're all good, so I really want to get to another one of her books because I really enjoyed Daisy Jones and the Six. We have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I need to read Part of Your World before I read this, but this is on my 24 reads of 2024, so I really do need to read Part of Your World so that I can read this and mark it off my list. And then we have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I really want to get into like her books. I know she's coming out with a new one this year. I just really want to get into reading Abby Jimenez. I heard that her writing is really good and really cute, so I want to read it. Then we have two Mia Sheridan books. I have Stinger. I was at Target one day, saw this cover, and I was like, let's get it, it's cute, so that's why I own it. And then we have Archer's Voice, and I feel like, again, I'm one of the last people on earth to read this book, so someone please tell me to read this book. Then we have If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I really need to read this. The Guy's Point of View comes out soon, so maybe this will be one of my reads for this year. It probably won't be in a reading vlog. I'm only doing one reading vlog a month for the time being until I get reading faster, but I might read this one this month. You might see it in a wrap up because I feel like it'll be quick and easy to read, also painful, so yeah. Then I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Again, this was on my 24 reads of 2024, and I'm really excited to read this series and start it, so yeah. Then I have two Anna Huang books. I have King of Wrath. I really want to read this series, like I've said about every series, but I'm really excited. And then I also have Twisted Love by her as well. We have Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. Again, not gonna talk too much, I'm just trying to get through all of these books because there's a lot, but yeah, I really want to read the entire series, but this is on my physical TBR as of right now because I have. Then we have Bright Side by Kim Holden. Not sure I'm ready for this pain to come out of this, but we have it nonetheless. And then we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Like I said, really want to get to this so I can read Yours Truly. And then we have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I've had this on my list for a while too, and it's pretty short, so it should be a quick and easy read. We have From Look Off with Love by Mariana Zapata. I have not read any Mariana Zapata books, and I really need to. I actually have two of her books. I have this one, and I have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I really want to read this because one, the words are big, so it makes up for the book being so thick. But again, like I said, I really want to get into her books, so maybe this will be the year. Then I have some Lauren Asher books. So we have Love Redesigned, which I'm so excited to read. Then we have the entire Dreamland Billionaire series. So we have The Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, and The Final Offer. I really need to read this series. Again, I think I'm like the last person on earth to read this series, but I have all three, so I need to read them. Then I have these two books by B. Celeste. They're in the Linden You series. So we have Dare You to Hate Me and Beg You to Trust Me, and I think the third one came out in 2023, like before the end of the year. So I really need to get to these. When I went to Michigan for a Michigan football game, there was a Barnes & Noble, so the day before the game we went to Barnes & Noble and I bought a couple books, and these just looked interesting, so I bought them, and have yet to read them, but anyway, have them on my physical TBR, so hopefully we can knock them out. Then we have Ghosted by J.M. Durhauer. Sarah has read this book and she said she really liked it, so I want to read it and see if I will enjoy it. But yeah. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I've heard so much hype about this and I really need to read this book. Like I really need to read it, but anyway, yeah. I have Matthew Perry's memoir on my list. I got it for Christmas. I'm currently using the cover as a bookmark. I've got to chapter 1 and have not read any further because there's like a prologue and a couple other things to read before you read that, but I do want to finish this month. Hopefully I will, but I definitely want to get to this, and it will definitely be read by the end of the year, but I really want to get to it this month, so hopefully, fingers crossed that I do. I also really want to get into more memoirs, so if you have any other ones that you would recommend, leave them in the comments. I think I want to read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and then I also want to read the Britney Spears memoir. So if you have any other ones, please leave them down below. I would love any recommendations. 3 Sarah Adams books. We have The Cheat Sheet, which I've had for literally so long, and then I have When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect, which you should read this one, and then you should read this one. So I really need to get to these really soon, and they're like shorter ones, and I heard that everyone really enjoys them, so I really want to get into them. Then I have 2 Elisa Sussman books. Funny You Should Ask and Once More with Feeling. Should probably read this one first, I think, and then read the other one. I heard everyone really likes this, and a couple of my favorite booktubers did not enjoy this one, so kind of scary, but who knows, maybe I will enjoy them. Then we have The Ninny by Lana Ferguson. I was at Walmart one day and I saw this, so I picked it up. I don't know what it's about, but it's on my physical never-ending TBR. Then we have Summer Reading by Jen McKinley, I think, something like that. I was at, first of all, the words are huge. I was at Half Price Books and I saw this and I was like, why not, let's get it. So I bought it. Have not read it, but obviously because it's on my TBR, but yeah. Then we have The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. I heard that Destiny has like really enjoyed this little series, and she said that it was good, so I really want to read it. Then we have Pack Up the Moon by, I think, Kristen Higgins, I think. Really need to read this again. It's on my never-ending TBR, so we'll see if we get to it. Then we have 3 Lynn Painter books. We have Better Than the Movies, The Love Wager, and The Do-Over. Look at these edges, so cute. Yeah, I need to get into my Lynn Painter era, I guess, but yeah. Then I have the first 2 books in the Maple Hill series. So I have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace and Wildfire by her. I think the 3rd one comes out this year, so I really need to read, yeah, it was on my list. I really need to read these 2 so that I can read the other one. And I just love this. I just love both covers. They're so cute, but I really need to read both of these. Then we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Destiny read this and she said she really enjoyed it, so I really want to see what it's about. Then we have a couple Allie Hazelwood books. We have Love Theoretically, we have Check and Mate, and we have The Love Hypothesis. That is all the only Allie Hazelwood books I have, and I have not read any of them, so I really need to because her new release comes out, but it's not like in any of the series. It's a completely different thing, but I really want to give her books a go. I have 2 Carly Fortune books. I have Every Summer After, Meet Me at the Lake. You should read this one, and then you should read this one, but again, I really need to read these. I've had this one on my list for a while, and then this one came out and I bought it, and I hadn't even read this one yet, so I need to. Then we have The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I've heard this one is really good, and it looks pretty easy, and it looks like a pretty easy read, so I really need to get to this soon. I'm like checking out because there are so many books to show you guys, but let's just get through this. Then we have 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I really don't want to read this. I'm very scared that this is gonna like break me, but we have it. We have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is the one and only Emily Henry book I have not read yet. I've read the others, and her new release comes out this year, and I'm so excited for it. But yeah, only Emily Henry book I have not read. I have a ton of Lucy Score books. We have the entire Knock 'Em Out series. So we have Things We Never Got Over, Things We Hide from the Light, and Things We Left Behind. I own this entire series without having even read the first book. This bothers me, so I really want to repurchase this so it matches, but like I said, I need to read these. I have By a Thread by Lucy Score, which is on my 24 reads of 2024. And then we have Rock Bottom Girl. I have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the last book in the Little Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I really need to read this. I swore I was going to read it the day that I got it, and I didn't. I've only read till chapter 5. Again, it's not because the book is bad, and it's not because I DNF'd it. It's because I was not in the mood to read. I think this was the same day I tried to read Shadow Me, so yeah. Never by Jessa Hastings, and I really want to read this so badly. I want this in a reading vlog, but I kind of already have reading vlogs for the next 3 months. But would this be considered romance? Because if it's be considered like romance fantasy or whatever, I may be able to fit it into next month's reading vlog, but let me know, because I may fit it into it anyway. And can we just, the cover is just beautiful. Then we have the next 3 books in the Magnolia Parks series. I've already read the first Magnolia Parks. Then we have Daisy Hates. I am on chapter 9 of this book. Again, it's not that it's bad, it's just taken me a while because again, I was trying to read it and when I was not in the mood. Again, this was the same time I was trying to read Shadow Me, so like I've said, I've gone through like 20 different books. So I don't know if this is going to be in a reading vlog or anything, but it might. But I absolutely love the first Magnolia Parks book. And then we have Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. I also just don't think I'm ready for the pain these books are going to bring me. And then we have Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, and then the third Magnolia Parks book comes out this year, so really need to read this. I think it comes out in February, so I'm definitely not reading all of these by that time, but definitely need to be read. Then I have the next 4 books in the Addicted series. I read the first 2, well, Addicted Calorie Sister series. I read the first 2. Then we have Addicted for Now, Hot House Flower, Kiss the Sky, and Thrive. I put myself on a buying ban of this series until these 4 are read. Then we can keep buying them. I was buying them as the new covers were releasing, but these need to be read. I'm doing a reading vlog next month that this one will fit perfectly in, so we may be reading that one, who knows. Then we have Binding 13 and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I've already started this book. I am currently on chapter 8 of it, but I went ahead and bought this because I had a Barnes & Noble gift card, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it. But I am so excited to read these. You guys just have no idea. And the covers are just everything. They have a special place in my room. So yeah, definitely excited to read these and keep buying them, and just, we love the flop. Then I have the rest of the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I read the first one, which is Flawless. Then we have Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless. And I am so excited to keep reading this series. I really need to. It might be in another video as well, but like I said, needs to be read, and I love all these covers. They also have a special place in my room. But yeah, that is all of the books on my physical TBR. That is so many, and when I look at my bookshelves, it makes me sad because I have not read very many of these books. Because some of the books I've read have been on my Kindle, so I don't own the physical copy. But it makes me sad that I have not read majority of these, so I really need to. So hopefully, like I said in the last video, that this book channel will help me get into all of these books. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell button to get notified every time I post. And now I have to go start the reading vlog for this month. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see ya when I see you.